What's up, guys? We're coming at you today with a full slate of MLB action on Friday, August 22nd. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate. I'll give you my favorite underdog pick of the day and my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price, I think has the best chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally read and answer every comment I get. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and you should definitely check back a couple of times throughout the day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and starters being confirmed. Yesterday, guys, we still have a few games live right now at time of recording, but we're off to a pretty good start. Got off hot out of the gates with the Athletics at -105, an 8-3 win behind a solid start there from Perkins, and we see the Athletics bats really going off there, piling up 12 hits and jumping on Urena very early, scoring 6 runs there in the second inning. So a nice win to start the day. We also had the Royals at -120. That was a 6-4 win there for Kansas City, overcoming a bad start there from Lorenzen, but their bullpen was lights out, soaking up more than half the game without giving up a single run. Corbin was bad early on, and the Rangers bullpen was bad as well, so Kansas City coming up with a win makes sense, but unfortunately we couldn't cash our under of 9 on that game. Both starters being mediocre and the Rangers bullpen being bad cost us our underplay on that game, so that was unfortunate. Now we've still got Boston at +115, a nice little underdog play there. They're in a little bit of trouble right now, but there's 2 outs with the bases loaded, so maybe they'll be fine. But the Nationals came through for us as their dog today, a +120 win there. Pretty comfortable win there for Washington, coming out on the right side of that 9-3 game. Manea was pretty bad there for the Mets. Gore wasn't much better, but we saw the Nationals bullpen go nuts, and the Mets bullpen really didn't look good. Also, Washington hit the cover off the ball, scoring 9 runs there on 9 hits. So very good stuff. We have the Cardinals as our massive lock of the day at -120, so a very reasonable price. They're up 6-3. They've been in some trouble, but they've been threatening pretty much every inning out there, so I'm expecting them to find some more runs. And the Cardinals bullpen, as soon as they get involved, tends to really shut down the opponent. So we'll see if that happens in this one, but hopefully we're trending towards a 5-1 day if everything goes according to plan the rest of the way. So we'll see if that happens. We're going to dive in and cover a very, very nice Friday slate. Got a lot of new series kicking off, and first on the docket, we're looking at the Colorado Rockies headed to Pittsburgh to take on the Pirates. The Rockies come into this game fresh off of splitting a 4-game series there against the Dodgers, so I guess well played there, but they did lose yesterday 9-5. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Antonio Senzatella. He's 4-14 on the season, a 7.00 ERA, and I mean, this guy has not had a great year. That being said, he's coming off a decent start there against Arizona. 5 innings, 4 hits, no runs allowed, and a 6-5 win, but I mean, let's be honest. How good has Senzatella been this year? He's been terrible. So we'll see what he does here against the Pirates. Obviously, the bullpen for the Rockies has been atrocious this year, one of the worst 2 bullpens in the majors. The offense has had its moments here recently, not going to lie, but it also hasn't been amazing. And obviously, over the course of the season, it's been terrible. I mean, 28th in runs scored, last in on-base percentage. You kind of get the picture. There's a reason this team has been historically bad. So we'll see what they do here against the Pirates, who did win 2 out of 3 against the Blue Jays, so well played there. But at 20 games below 500, not a lot of great stuff to report about the Pirates. They are calling up their top pitching prospect, Chandler, so we'll see what he can do. But in this game, they're going to hand the ball to Braxton Ashcraft. He's sporting a 3.02 ERA. He's coming off a couple games where he actually started, and he had an okay start against Cincinnati and backed that up with an excellent start against the cold-hitting Cubs. 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run allowed back on the 15th. So we'll see if he can replicate a little bit of that here against a much weaker hitting Rockies team that did give him some trouble in Colorado back on August 2nd, but we'll see. Pitching at home might make the difference. The Pirates bullpen, while way better than the Rockies bullpen, is still not amazing. The offense is maybe worse, honestly. They are last in the majors in runs scored. They are 27th in batting average. They're 26th in on-base percentage. This team has not been hitting the ball particularly well either. I mean, 2, 3, 5, 3, 1, and 3 over their last few games is pretty weak stuff. So looking at the numbers here, I'm a little bit shocked to see the Pirates be this big of favorites. The Rockies are +158. The Pirates are -190. We've got a total of 8.5 in this game. The Rockies are a pretty incredibly bad 16-46 on the road, 36-25-1 to the under on the road. The Pirates are actually 36-30 at home, 34-30 and 2 to the under at home. While I'm not in love with the price in this game, I do think we probably want to be on the Pirates at -190. They're probably going to figure out a way to win this game. I'm not taking a team like Pittsburgh at -1.5 or anything like that, so this game probably a stay away spot for me. Rolling along here, guys, we've got the Washington Nationals headed to Philadelphia to take on the Phillies. Now, the Nationals just won 2 out of 3 there against the Mets, and slam that thumbs up button if you enjoyed cashing the Nationals yesterday as our dog of the day. Washington's not headed anywhere important this year at 52-75 on the season, but they're going to give the ball in this one to Cade Cavalli. This 27-year-old's 1-0 on the year, a 2.20 ERA. This is only his 4th start of the season, but he's been looking pretty reasonable. His last time on the mound was against these Phillies. 7 innings, 7 hits, no runs allowed, walked 0, and struck out 5. one of his best starts of the season. He also had an excellent start against the Athletics, which not, slouches at the plate. So we'll see what he can do running it back here against the Phillies. The Nationals bullpen, it's been a problem, but is coming off an excellent game there yesterday. Now they're going to be able to back that up, make that 2 in a row. Great bullpen games. Seems like a pretty big stretch, but we'll see. The offense obviously hit the crap out of the ball yesterday, putting up 9 runs. That's not the norm for this team, but they're not terrible to play. They're 20th in runs scored. They're 20th in batting average as well. These were 9-5-1. 9, 2, and 6 over their last few games. They did just split a 4-game series against the Phillies. Now they got to go to Philadelphia, so we'll see how this one goes. The Phillies come into this game fresh off of sweeping the Mariners, and at 74-53 on the year, have a 7-game lead in the NL East. They'll hand the ball in this one to Taijuan Walker, who's 4-6 on the season, a 3.34 ERA. His last start, very good stuff against the Nationals. 6 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs allowed in a game we eventually saw the Phillies lose 2-0. So we'll see if something similar holds up in this one. I don't remember if he's got a bunch of starts against Washington under his belt this year. Oh yeah, one other one back in early May, and he didn't have a great time. So we'll see what he does this time out there. Obviously, the Phillies bullpen has not been incredible. Obviously, they've had their moments, I suppose, but this is not a bullpen where I have a lot of faith. The offense, well, maybe we should have some faith because they went out to, out there against the Mariners. They were playing in Philadelphia, but scored 11, 6, and 12 runs over that game. Over their last 4 games, they scored 11, 6, 12, and 11. So some pretty hot hitting there for a Phillies team that can be cold at the plate, but they were certainly not cold there against the Mariners. So we'll see what happens with them at the plate in this one. Looking at the numbers for this game, they are 9th in the majors in runs scored and 3rd in batting average, but the numbers for the game, actually, not the numbers for the Phillies. The Nationals are plus 145. The Phillies are minus 170. We've got a total of 9.5. Washington is 26-36 on the road, 32-26-4 to the over on the road. The Phillies are 40-21 at home, 32-26-3 to the over at home. I know both teams are showing trends towards the over here, and the Phillies are hitting the cover off the ball, but I do think under is live in this game. Both starters have very good history against the opposing team, so maybe under is live, but better than that, guys, I will side with the Phillies at minus 170. I don't think we're going to see 2 good Washington bullpen days back to back. I also think the Phillies are maybe the hottest hitting team in the majors right now, so definitely the Phillies at minus 170 is showing some value. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Boston Red Sox head to New York to take on the Yankees. The Red Sox and Yankees are playing right now with Boston down 3-2 in the top of the 6th. They got a runner on though, so we'll see how things go in that one. Boston hasn't been playing their best. They did lose 3 in a row. They're going into this series. They're going to hand the ball in this game to Brian Bello, who's 9-6 on the season, a 3.23 ERA. His last start was against the Marlins. He was very good, and he's been good in 4 out of his last 5 outings, so that's something positive to look at. In terms of history against the Yankees this year, he was lights out against the Yankees back in mid-June. 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs allowed, struck out 8, walked 3 in a 2-0 win there for the Red Sox. So that's some very solid history there from Bello. Obviously, the Red Sox bullpen isn't a big concern. They've been excellent this season. That hasn't been an issue. The offense, they don't come into this series swinging the hottest bats. They've missed out on some opportunities already in game 1 here, only putting up 2 runs and leaving a lot of guys on base. But we'll see. I do expect them to find a way to put up some offense here going up against a Yankees team that is 69-57 on the year, only 4 games back with Toronto, so trying to make a little push. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Max Fried, who's 13-5 on the year, a 3.26 ERA, but he's coming out getting absolutely shelled there by the Cardinals. He went 5 innings, gave up 8 hits, and 7 earned runs. The Yankees offense bailed him out. They did win that game 12-8, but it wasn't pretty, and honestly, none of his last 5 starts have been very pretty. So going up against the Red Sox in kind of a big game, I'm a little bit worried about him. The last time he faced Boston, 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs allowed, but that was right around when this downward trajectory started. Honestly, over his last, 7 starts? Something like that. He has not looked like the guy that was so dominant early in the year. So I'm worried about Max Fried in this spot. I'm always going to be worried about that Yankees bullpen. It has not been great this season. There's a big question mark for them once the playoffs roll around. And the offense, well, that's been okay. 3 runs so far in their current game, 6, 13, 8, 12, and 4 in the few games before that. This is a great offensive team, don't get me wrong. Now, do they have the legs to keep it going? We'll see. They are 2nd in the majors in runs scored and 9th in batting average, but this team, like most of these hard-hitting teams, like the Phillies, for example, can go through some peaks and valleys. And they're about to face a guy that they've had some struggles against. So looking at the numbers, the Red Sox are plus 143. The Yankees are minus 170. Got a total of 8.5 in this game. Boston's 27-34 on the road, 34-26-1 to the over on the road. That's actually an MLB best mark towards the over on the road. The Yankees are 37-25 at home, 34-26-2 to the under at home. This might feel a little bit crazy, but we may be running it back here on the Red Sox, taking them at plus 143 with Bello on the mound. He's got very good history against the Yankees. Fried does not have an amazing history against the Red Sox and has really struggled down the stretch this season. I'm starting to think he's hurt or something and is trying to pitch through it. But definitely give me the Red Sox here at plus 143 as a potential dog of the day. Hey guys, hopping here with a quick shout out to the sponsor of today and every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, UFC, and NFL preseason picks, which we actually have NFL regular season picks already up there for week 1 on the premium section, and we've got college football picks in there as well for week 0. So definitely tons and tons of information in there in the premium section. This is a great time to dive in. Major League Baseball has been our most profitable sport the last several years in a row. There's been a lot of units made so far in the 2025 season, so definitely running hot this year. At StumpTheSpread.com, you'll be able to see exclusive free picks that are only posted there, our free-to-use bet size calculator, and our premium top confidence picks, which might not and usually will not always match what you see here in the videos. As I'm not the premium MLB handicapper over there at Stump the Spread, we have an expert with many more years of experience than I have capping MLB. He's been doing this for well over a decade, and he is putting in the work. He's developed some very sophisticated tools and algorithms using AI, using all kinds of different ways to input information into his algorithm, and he's taking a crazy amount of data points into consideration on every single one of those games. So definitely a ton of work going into those premium picks, and while he did have a bit of a down day there on the 20th, his record so far this month has still been excellent, and his record over like the last week or so, when does the crazy run started on the 14th. So yeah, it's exactly a week. And yeah, the 21st looks like a very good chance to go a perfect 2-0. Only had 2 plays there on a short slate, but already cashed the Brewers as a 1-unit play as nice little underdogs in that one. He's still got the Cardinals going as a 1-unit play. They're up 6-3, and they're threatening, or they're actually being threatened. The Tampa Bay's got a couple runners on base, but there's 2 outs. So the Cardinals bullpen hopefully will hang on to that one. So it would be a nice little 2-0 bounce back day there for the premium members on the MLB side. But like I was saying, guys, football is coming. It is right around the corner in the premium picks with those nice early lines, and they're taking advantage before we see line movement against us are already there in the premium section. So definitely check that out. Also get over to StumpTheSpread.com. Check out the free picks that are exclusively posted there. That's where you can find our free to use bet size calculator. I definitely recommend you use that to make sure you're not busting your whole bankroll if you have 1 or 2 bad days in a row. Also, you got to get over there to get on the free email newsletter, guys. It's absolutely free. All you need is your name and your email address to set up a free account. You'll get 1 email straight to your inbox or your spam folder, so check your spam folder, but straight to your inbox every single day. It'll have at least 1 free pick in it, oftentimes 2, usually covering whatever's going on at the moment, but right now it's usually MLB, occasionally WNBA. Pretty soon, there's going to be football in those free picks very, very soon, so definitely get in on that. Also, there's information on niche sports betting like golf, NASCAR, stuff like tennis even can be covered. And guys, there's just tons of great information there, honestly. There's parlays included in those as well. I know a lot of you guys like parlays against my advice, but that's neither here nor there. So definitely get over there, get on that free email list. It's great information straight to your inbox every single day. Also, if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from us every single day here, click that little join button right below the video to become a YouTube channel member. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos, get the name on screen in every single video, and get access to our members only giveaways. We give away a Stump the Spread hoodie here every single week to 1 random channel member. Last week, the guy who won the giveaway did not claim it down there in the comments. So definitely, guys, if you are a long-term channel member, you're one of those channel members that's got the little gold 10-month membership thing next to your name, get down there in the comments. I'm very likely to be trying to give away a free hoodie down there in the comments to, just some random channel member. So get in on that if you're interested, and let's go ahead and dive back in. We've got a ton more games to cover on a very full Friday slate. And next up, we're going to be looking at the Houston Astros going on the road to take on the Baltimore Orioles. The Astros and Orioles are actually playing right now, with the Astros leading 7-2 in the middle of the 7th inning. So that game looking maybe not over, but definitely leaning pretty hard in one direction. The Astros have not been having the best time here recently. Kimbrel just getting signed there to a major league deal. That's pretty interesting news. But yeah, the Astros, I mean, they are still a game and a half up on Seattle. They've been very lucky that Seattle has had a hard time here lately as well. Houston's going to hand the ball to Lance McCullers Jr. in this game. Coming off the IL, he's 2-4 on the year, a 6.90 ERA. The last time we saw him pitch was back on July 19th, and he didn't look great and hadn't looked great for a few games. So I'm definitely worried about him coming off the IL in terms of history this year against the Orioles. He doesn't have any. He does have a very good bullpen to back him up, but the Houston bullpen's been a little bit hittable here lately. Definitely, a trend away from what we've been seeing from them early in the year. The offense has been very bleak. They got shut out over a 3-game sample size, so that's pretty embarrassing. They're 21st in runs scored. They're 6th in batting average. So we'll see if they can make a little comeback and flip the script. They are up 7-2, so have scored 7 runs in their current game. Now, the Orioles, they've been playing a lot better down the stretch. They're only 8 games below 500, so I guess technically they're not completely out of it. We'll see how things go for them down in the dog days of summer here as we finish out the year. Now, they'll hand the ball to KennyGPoker in this game. He's 2-6 this season, a 4.98 ERA. This young 25-year-old has done some positive things this season. He's burned me once or twice. This is a guy I normally like to fade. The last time he was on the mound was against the Astros, and we did see the Orioles lose that game 5-4 in extras, but Povich wasn't terrible. He struck out 10, which is a great look, walked 3, but also gave up 3 earned runs in 5 innings. So definitely wasn't somebody who was unhittable in that game. The Orioles bullpen has been a problem this season, one of the lower rated bullpens in the majors, and the offense, well, recently maybe there's been a slight uptick. Over the course of the year, they've just been so much worse this season than they were a season ago. 19th in runs scored, 22nd in batting average. Not a lot of positives to report there for Baltimore at the plate. So looking at the numbers for this game, guys, the Astros are plus 100. The Orioles are minus 120. We've got a total of 9.5 out there. Houston's a 500 team on the road. They're 29, 28, and 5 to the over on the road. Baltimore's a 500 team at home as well. 30, 28, and 2 to the over at home. I'm actually going to side just slightly towards the Orioles here. I don't love it. This game's definitely a stay away spot for me because I don't want to be backing KennyGPoker very bad, but I don't trust Lance McCullers Jr. coming off the IL, so I'll lean a bit towards Baltimore, but really, guys, I'm more than happy to stay away from this game. Rolling right along, we're looking at the Kansas City Royals headed to Detroit to take on the Tigers. Now, the Royals have been playing pretty well. They're up to 66 and 62 on the season. Definitely a threat there in the AL wildcard situation. They're handing the ball in this one to Ryan Bergert. He's 1-1 this season, a 2.75 ERA. This young 25-year-old's done some pretty good stuff since coming over there from San Diego. 5 2/3 innings against Boston, gave up only 2 earned runs. 5 2/3 innings against Minnesota, gave up 2 runs, and 5 1/3 innings against the White Sox, gave up 2 runs, only 1 of which was earned. So very good stuff out there. I'm expecting him to be okay, at least here against the Tigers. Not a team he's faced this season, but the kid's been throwing the ball pretty well. Now, the Royals bullpen, also not a huge concern. A 3.63 bullpen ERA, that's definitely okay with me. A bullpen that's been well above average. Honestly, one of the best, 8 to 10 bullpens in the majors all season long. The problem for this team, generally speaking, has been their lack of offense, but that's turned around a little bit too. Not like they're going nuts, but they have scored 6, 3, 5, 4, 6, and 6 over their last few games. They're up to 29th now in the majors in runs scored, but 17th in batting average, 24th in on-base percentage, and just in general, things are headed in the right direction for the Royals at the plate. So that's got to be very positive news here as they go on the road to take on the Tigers, who just swept the struggling Astros. The Tigers have got a 9.5 game lead there in the AL Central, so they don't really have to be super locked in down the stretch. They will hand the ball in this game to Casey Mize. He's had a good year, 12-4 on the season, a 3.63 ERA. His last start was against the Twins. He was okay, 6 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs. He did strike out 10 and only walk 1, and the Tigers are 4-0 over his last 4 starts. When those starts are against the Twins, the Angels, the Twins, and the Diamondbacks, I'm not about to freak out. We'll see what he can do here against the Royals. Obviously, they're not the hardest hitting team out there. He did face them back in late May and was pretty bad. 3 1/3 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs. So not his best stuff in that one. He did have a great start against them in April, but we're not really in the business of taking April trends too much into consideration here in late August. So we'll see how he does, see how that Tigers bullpen can do. It's been getting better and better here down the stretch after a weirdly bad stretch for quite some time. The offense obviously had a pretty good series there against Houston, although they did only score 1 run there in game 2, but they've been hitting the ball quite a bit better over their last 6 to 8 games than they did there for a pretty long stretch. They were struggling at the plate for 20 plus games. So we'll see if that's real at this point. They are 8th in runs scored and 13th in batting average. So at no point was this a terrible offensive team. They were just a little bit cold. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Royals are plus 135. The Tigers are minus 160. We've got a total of 8.5 in this one. The Royals 30 and 32 on the road, 32, 29 and 1 to the under on the road. Detroit is 42 and 24 at home, 32, 29 and 5 to the over at home. I feel like Mize is being slightly overvalued here at minus 160, so I don't love Detroit in this spot necessarily. You could maybe talk me into no-run first inning with these two teams, in this situation. Either one's very great at the plate, but in general, I think the better values just take the Royals at plus 135. It's not a huge lean. It's not making the pinned comment or anything like that, but I do think the Royals are probably the side you want to be on. Rolling along here, guys, we're looking at the Toronto Blue Jays headed to Miami to take on the Marlins. Now, there's no numbers out at time of recording for this game because we don't have both starters confirmed. The Blue Jays come into this one fresh off a pretty mediocre series there against the Pirates where they actually lost 2 out of 3. They've still got a 4-game lead against the Yankees. They're going to hand the ball in this game to Shane Bieber. He's 2-0 on the year, or was 2-0 last year, I mean, a 0.00 ERA, but only made 2 starts back in the very, very early going. So he's going to go out there, make his first start of the season on August 22nd, and it's going to be for the Toronto Blue Jays, not the Cleveland Guardians. So we'll see what he looks like. This is a 30-year-old veteran. I'm expecting him to be okay coming off of that injury, but I'm not really expecting miracles after such a long layoff. So we'll see. We'll see how it looks. Their bullpen has been a little bit less than amazing down the stretch this year. That's for sure something that's got to concern them a little bit with the playoffs starting to loom a little bit. And the offense, well, not a great series there in Pittsburgh. They're now in Miami, so maybe that will help heat the bats up a little bit. But overall, this has been a great offense this season. I mean, they're 7th in runs scored, 1st in both batting and on base percentage. So, yeah. I like a lot of what's going on for Toronto right now. The starting situation for this game might not be ideal. Now, they're taking on a Marlins team that's 60-67 on the year. They managed to win 1 out of 3 there against the Cardinals. They don't have a confirmed starter at time of recording, so we'll see how things go. Obviously, hasn't been a great season for Marlins starters. They're 29th in the majors in quality starts. They're 24th in earned run average as a team. Obviously, that does take into consideration the bullpen. The bullpen's been pretty bad too. A 4.12 bullpen ERA. Nothing to get jazzed up about. So I'm worried about the pitching situation here for the Marlins. I'm also a little bit worried about their offense. I mean, 6-4-3-5-5 and 1 over your last few games is definitely not terrible, but it's also not something to get super jazzed up about. So obviously no numbers for this game. It's going to have to be a wait and see spot, but we're going to be keeping an eye on this. Definitely a good day to be checking back on that pinned comment because we've got some pitching situations that are going to stay pretty unsettled until probably around midday tomorrow at least. So definitely want to be double checking that pinned comment a couple times tomorrow. Next on the docket, we've got the New York Mets heading to Atlanta to take on the Braves. The Mets ended up losing 9-3 there yesterday. Lost 2 out of 3 against the Nationals, which was great for us because we had the Nationals. But the Mets definitely floundering. They're currently 7 games back in the NL East. Not a team that's having a great time down the stretch. They'll hand the ball in this game to Nolan McLean. This 24-year-old came in and made a bit of a splash there on the 16th. Very good start against the Mariners. 3 1/3 innings, 5 1/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, no runs allowed, walked 4, and struck out 8. So could be a huge boost here for the Mets. We'll see if he can make it happen 2 starts in a row. Their bullpen hasn't been great down the stretch, but hasn't been a disaster this year. The offense, though, a lot of question marks. I mean, obviously, they're 13th in runs scored. They're 19th in batting average. Like, this is a team that was supposed to be one of the best 2, 3, maybe 4 kind of, offenses in all of Major League Baseball, and that has not been the case this season. So we'll see what happens here as they go on the road to take on the Braves. They come into this game 58-69 on the year. It kind of feels like they're losing guys left and right. I mean, Austin Riley, out for the season with that core injury. They have won 2 out of their last 3, and they've been playing pretty well down the stretch, but we'll see what they do here hitting the ball to Joey Wentz. This 27-year-old lefty is sporting a 4.72 ERA. He's had back-to-back good starts against Miami, good start against Cleveland there. So we'll see what he does here against the Mets. Obviously not a team swinging the hottest bats. He hasn't faced the Mets this year, though. No, it doesn't look like he's faced the Mets, but we'll see. Since coming over there from Minnesota, the kid's looked pretty good. So we'll see if he can continue to look good. The Atlanta bullpen has not been a problem here recently, and the offense, well, I mean, 1-11-9. 5-10-2 over their last few. For a team that's been offensively challenged most of the season, they're actually hitting the ball pretty well. So the odds makers actually have this listed as a coin flip, which is kind of wild. We've got a total of 8.5. The Mets are 26-36 on the road this season. They're 31-26-5 to the under on the road. Atlanta's 32-31 at home, 34-25-4 to the under at home. I actually think I'm going to stay away from the Mets here and lean towards the Atlanta Braves with how bad the Mets have been slumping recently. I do like Nolan McLean on the mound, though, and that's why I think under 8 is actually my favorite lean in this game. I doubt we'll see much offense. Neither one of these teams is going nuts at the plate right now, so I think the under is definitely the best play on this one. Next on the docket, we're looking at the St. Louis Cardinals going on the road to take on the Tampa Bay Rays. The Cardinals and Rays are actually playing right now with St. Louis up 7-4 in the bottom of the 8th, so hopefully the Cardinals can come through as our lock of the day. St. Louis will hand the ball in this one to Miles Mikolas. He's 6-9 on the year, a 4.99 ERA. His last couple starts haven't been disasters. 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs against the Yankees. He did walk 5 and strike out 1 in that game, so not great stuff. We saw him do okay against the Rockies, but struggling against the Dodgers. This just isn't a guy that I have a ton of faith in this season. I don't believe he hasn't faced Tampa Bay, so we'll see what he can do, but definitely not my favorite guy to have on the mound if I'm the Cardinals. Obviously, the Cardinals' bullpen's been excellent this season. That's been a big strength, but the offense has fallen off drastically. I mean, they have put up 7 runs in their current game, and yeah, they're now going into the bottom of the 8th. So yeah, a lot of good stuff happening for the Cardinals in this particular game, but they haven't been that great at the plate. So we'll see what they do here against the Rays, who at 61 and 66 on the year are going to hand the ball to Adrian Hauser. He's 6-4 this season, a 2.67 ERA since coming over there from the White Sox. A couple really bad starts there, struggling against the Angels and against the Mariners, but then had a great start against the Giants. 5 innings, 4 hits, no runs allowed, struck out 6, walked 0 in a game we eventually see the Rays win 2-1. So we'll see if he can put up a good start here against the Cardinals. I do expect him to continue to look good out there. The dude had way too good of a track record established this season to all of a sudden be terrible after getting traded. So we'll see. I'm expecting him to be okay. Maybe not expecting him to be amazing, but we'll see. I actually expect him to have a pretty good start. The Tampa Bay bullpen's been solid. Not as good as the Cardinals, but very good in general. The offense has been a bit of a problem. Only 4 runs in their current game. For the game before that, 3, 1, 2, 7, and 8. Before that, they are 14th in runs scored. They're 14th in batting average, and this was looking like a top 5, top 10 kind of offense there for quite a bit. So it's been a big fall off. Now, looking at the numbers here, odds makers aren't worried about that, but I think the Cardinals at plus 110, the Rays at minus 130, a total of 9 in this game. St. Louis is only 28 and 35 on the road, 31, 29, and 3 to the over on the road. Tampa Bay is a 500 team at home, 35, 26, and 3 to the under at home. This is a bit of a tough game to figure out. I'm going to lean towards Hauser having a good day, and this is, I always like fading Michaelis. If I'm being honest, the dude's been pretty bad this season, so give me the Tampa Bay Rays here at minus 130, and fading Michaelis feels so good that there's a chance this could actually make the pin comment. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Minnesota Twins heading to Chicago to take on the White Sox. The Twins just got swept by the Athletics, so that has to feel pretty bad. They're going to hand the ball on this one to Zebby Matthews. He's 3-4 on the season, a 5.06 ERA. His last time on the mound, he did look pretty good there against the Tigers. Only lasted 4 innings, but gave up 2 earned runs. He did walk 4, so actually I take that back. He did not look that good. So we'll see what he does in this one. He's been a little hit or miss. Recently got shelled by Boston, a decent start against Detroit, got shelled by the Yankees, then an okay outing against Detroit. Like, just a little bit hard to tell what you're going to get from this guy on a nightly basis. I mean, he's going to be facing the White Sox here, so you would generally expect him to have a good outing. He hasn't faced them yet this season, though, so we'll see how that looks. The Twins' bullpen's been pretty bad this year, a 4.24 bullpen ERA. It was good during that crazy winning streak they had months ago, but hasn't been good recently. And the offense, 3, 2, and 3 runs scored in those 3 games against the Athletics. So it hasn't been great. They're banged up. They're 24th in the majors in runs scored this year and 24th in batting average. Those are numbers that I could see continuing to drop. So we'll see what they do here against the White Sox, who at 45 and 82 on the year obviously don't have a lot left to play for. They just lost 2 out of 3 against the Braves, getting shut out 1-0 there in game 3. They'll hand the ball in this one to Aaron Savale, who's 3-8 this season, a 4.88 ERA. His last start was against the Royals, 6 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs. Not that terrible, but the White Sox lose 3-1, and yeah, not a lot of positives to report for this team. Even though Savale has been throwing the ball relatively well, he did have that terrible start against Cleveland, so we'll see what he does here against the Twins. Has he faced the Twins this year? It appears that he has not faced Minnesota this season, so we'll see what Savale can do. The White Sox bullpen's been borderline respectable, so that's been nice, but the offense is terrible. I mean, they've scored, 0, 10, 9, 2, 2, 1, and 0 over their last few games. They're 27th in runs scored and 29th in batting average and 29th in slugging percentage. This is one of the worst teams at the plate in all of Major League Baseball. So look at the numbers here, guys. The Twins are minus 135. The White Sox are plus 115. We've got a total of 8.5. Minnesota's 25 and 38 on the road, 34, 26, and 3 to the under on the road. The White Sox are 26 and 36 at home, 32, 25, and 5 to the over at home. I actually think the White Sox at plus 115 are live in this game. Zebby Matthews has not impressed me too much. Savale's thrown the ball really well here. Recently, he's had a bad start mixing there too, but he's also had some very, very good ones. So I think we'll actually see the White Sox come out ahead on this one, and getting them at plus money feels pretty nice. Cruising right along, we're looking at the Cleveland Guardians heading to Texas to take on the Rangers. The Guardians just lost 2 out of 3 there at the Diamondbacks. At 64 and 62 on the season, they're really messing up their wild card chances. They'll hand the ball in this one to Slade Ciccone. He's 5-6 on the year, a 4.50 ERA. He's had a really tough last couple games, getting shelled by the White Sox and then dismantled by the Atlanta Braves. What is going on with Ciccone, guys? We'll have to wait and see, but I am not super high on this guy right now. He's having a really, really rough time. The bullpen for Cleveland has been good overall this year for sure. A top 4 bullpen right now by bullpen ERA. So that looks nice, but the offense, 2.53, 4-1 and 0 over their last few games. Yeah, they really need guys like Jose Ramirez to go nuts for them to have any sort of offense. They're last in batting average. They're second to last in on base percentage. Like, I don't have a lot of good things to say about the Guardians right now. We'll see what they can do here on the road, taking on the Texas Rangers, who have also floundered, losing 3 of 4. They're 63 and 66, but they'll hand the ball in this one to Nathan Eovaldi, who's 11 and 3 on the year, a 1.76 ERA. He bounced back after a terrible outing there against Arizona, where we did see the Rangers eventually win, to have a great start against Toronto. 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs allowed, struck out 6 and walked 0. So very good stuff there. We'll see what he can do here against Cleveland, but I'm not expecting him to miss a beat, really. He hasn't faced Cleveland this year, but Eovaldi's going to go out there and be excellent in this game. We also love that Rangers bullpen, a top 5 bullpen by bullpen ERA, and the offense, well, it's kind of where the love fest leaves, guys. I mean, 4-6-2, 3-10 and 2 over their last few is not great. They're 23rd in runs scored and 25th in batting average, but they're about to take on a pitcher that's gotten shelled by the Braves and the White Sox recently, so he's having a hard time. Looking at the numbers for this game, guys, the Guardians are plus 145, the Rangers are minus 165. There's a total of 7.5 out there. Cleveland's 33 and 31 on the road, 33, 26 and 5 to the under on the road. The Rangers are 37 and 26 at home. They are 40, 22 and 1 to the under at home. I'm not going to take under 7.5 with Ciccone on the mound, but I will take the Rangers at minus 165. I think with Eovaldi out there, they're going to have a really easy time. There's a decent chance this could even be close to our lock of the day. I think he's going to dominate, and I think the Rangers are going to put up 5 or 6 runs in this game, so I think that all leads to the Rangers winning comfortably. Next on the docket, we've got the San Francisco Giants going on the road to take on the Milwaukee Brewers. The Giants come into this game just getting swept there by the Padres. That's a pretty brutal feeling. They're now 6 games below 500 and watching their season slip away. They're going to hand the ball in this game to Carson Weisenhunt. He's 1-1 this year, a 5.02 ERA. This young 24-year-old lefty has done some positive stuff since coming up to the big league team, but 4 innings, 5 hits, and 3 earned runs against the Nationals his last time on the mound doesn't fill me with tons of confidence. He's also shown some control issues, which is kind of, par for the course when you're talking about a young left-handed pitcher. Now, the bullpen for the Giants, no question, one of the best ones in the majors. That's been something that's helped this team stay afloat, but you got to score some runs for the bullpen to help you win games, and they are not great at that. 4-1 and 1 in that series against the Padres. Oh, they did win game 1. Sorry, that was a 4-game series. I forgot that was a 4-game series, but still, 4-1-1 and 4 in that series. Not great offensively. They're 25th in runs scored. They're 28th in batting average. So a lot of negatives right now for the Giants. Now they're taking on a Brewers team that doesn't really remember what negatives are like. They are 80 and 48 on the season. They've got a 7-game lead in the NL Central. They didn't have a great time there against the Cubs, but they played 5 total games and won 2 of them. That'll work. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Jose Quintana, who's 10 and 4 on the year, a 3.32 ERA. His last start, he was very good against the Reds, albeit in an extra inning loss, but over his last 5 starts, he's never allowed more than 3 earned runs, and he's just looked really, really good out there. Now he gets to face the Giants, a team that's pretty weak at the plate, and a team he dominated back in late April. Like I said, we're not going to weight April stats too heavily, but it does at least bear mentioning. Now, the Brewers' bullpen's gotten way better over the course of the year. That's a big step in the right direction for this team. And the offense, while they were swinging some pretty cold bats there in Wrigley, the wind was blowing in for maybe that entire series, if I remember correctly. So we'll see if they can snap out of it. This has been a pretty good offense this year, guys. They're 2nd in batting average, 2nd in on-base percentage, and 3rd out there in runs scored. So a lot of stuff to like about the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, looking at the numbers for this game, the Giants are plus 134. The Brewers are minus 158. We've got a total of 8.5 in this game. The Giants are 31 and 34 on the road, 34, 27 and 4 to the over on the road. Milwaukee is 42 and 20 at home. That's an MLB best home mark. They're 33, 28 and 1 to the under at home. I don't think under 8.5 is insane in this game. I wouldn't blame anybody for backing that, but better than that, guys. I'll just take the Brewers here at minus 158. Another play that has a chance to be our lock of the day, or at least make the pin comment, because I think with Quintana out there and the Brewers due for a bounce back here offensively and going up against a young and experienced pitcher, I think they're going to have a pretty good time. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Chicago Cubs heading to LA to take on the Angels. The Cubs just had an okay series there against the Brewers, so I'm pretty sure they're happy to win 3 out of 5. They're going to hand the ball in this game to someone, but we don't have a confirmed starter right now for the Cubs, which is part of the reason we don't have any numbers for this game, which is kind of annoying. Now, the Cubs rotation in general has been pretty decent. I mean, 12th in quality starts, 11th in earned run average against, like some positive numbers there for sure, and they've got some decent guys out there. So we'll have to wait and see who they're actually going to hand the ball to. If it ends up being a bullpen start for Chicago, that's not the end of the world. A 3.81 bullpen ERA is at least playable, if not elite. The offense has been excellent. Not like they killed it there against the Brewers, but the wind was blowing in there at Wrigley, so you're not going to put up cartoonish numbers. They're still 5th in runs scored this year and 5th in slugging percentage, so a very dangerous roster. They're going to be taking on an Angels team that comes into this one fresh off winning 1 out of 3 against the Reds at 61 and 66 on the year. Looks like this, I mean, they've been better than I expected, but I kind of struggle to think they're going to make some sort of playoff push. So we'll see what they do here, handing the ball to Tyler Anderson, who's had a really down year. This veteran lefty is 2-8 on the season, a 4.77 ERA, and it hasn't gotten too much better down the stretch. I mean, he's given up 4 earned runs over his last 4 games, all of which were losses for the Angels, and those starts were against the Athletics, the Rays, and the White Sox. So we'll see what he can do. The Angels are 0-5 over his last 5 starts. He hasn't faced the Cubs this year, but I'm definitely worried about Tyler Anderson. The Angels' bullpen's been a constant worry for them this year. Bottom 5 in the majors, a 4.80 bullpen ERA, and the offense, while at times has looked elite, is swinging some pretty cold bats. 2, 4, and 1 runs over their last 3 games. They're 15th in runs scored, but 26th in batting average and 26th in on-base percentage. So unfortunately, we don't have any numbers for this game. We'll have to wait until the Cubs confirm a pitcher probably. This is just a day where there's not a lot of information that's being released. A lot of teams playing it pretty close to the chest. So we'll have to wait and see, but I'm probably going to be leaning towards Chicago. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Cincinnati Reds heading to Arizona to take on the Diamondbacks. The Reds just won 2 out of 3 there against the Angels, so I'm sure they're not too upset about that. They'll hand the ball in this one to Zach Littell, who's 9-8 on the season, a 3.52 ERA. Since coming over there from Tampa Bay, he's looked pretty good. Dominated the Cubs once, did struggle against Pittsburgh, weirdly, but then dominated the Brewers, which is a pretty impressive feat there. So, yeah, very good stuff. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run allowed. Unfortunately for the Reds, they do lose that game in extra innings, but Zach Littell, twin brother, Redbeard brother, looking pretty good out there. So we'll see what he can do here on the road against the Arizona Diamondbacks, a team that he faced back in April and was actually pretty good, but, you know, it's April, so we'll see. The Reds' bullpen's been solid recently, maybe not over the course of the entire year. There's been some pretty big ups and downs, but we do generally like what we've seen from their bullpen this year. The offense, I mean, 1, 6, 4, 3, 5, 8, and 8 over their last few games is definitely reasonable. They're 11th in runs scored. They're 16th in batting average, though, and 21st in slugging percentage. So we'll see if they can get some runs on the board here against the Diamondbacks, who just won 2 out of 3 against Cleveland. They are 62 and 66 on the season, so kind of clinging to respectability despite being big sailors at the trade deadline. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Ryan Nelson, who's 6-3 this year, a 3.58 ERA. His last couple starts, though, looking a little problematic. Struggling against the Rockies and struggling against the Rangers isn't exactly what you're supposed to be doing if you want to be taken seriously as a legit big league starter. So we'll see what he does here against the Reds. He is in a bounce back spot, but it's a double bounce back spot, and he got shelled by the Reds back in early June. So I'm pretty worried about Ryan Nelson in this specific spot. Now, the Arizona bullpen's also been terrible. Not good at all. A 4.83 bullpen ERA. Definitely a lot of incompetence out there in the Arizona pen. And the offense, obviously, they lost a lot of important guys there around the trade deadline. They've scored 3, 6, 1, 5, 7, and 3 over their last few games. They're down to 5th in runs scored and 11th in batting average, and those numbers are going to continue to fall. So, looking at the numbers for this game, the Reds are plus 115. The Diamondbacks are minus 135. We've got a total of 9 out there. The Reds are 31 and 32 on the road, 35, 27, and 1 to the under on the road. Arizona's 32 and 31 at home, 30, 29, and 4 to the over at home. I will definitely take the Reds here at plus 115. This is certainly going to be our dog of the day, or go in the pinned comment, because I think this is an excellent spot. I think they should be the favorites in this game, and they are not. Give me Cincinnati and my twin brother Zach Littell to come away with a win in this one. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we've got the LA Dodgers headed to San Diego to take on the Padres, another very important series out there in the NL West. The Dodgers come into this game fresh off of splitting a 4-game series there against the Rockies. Also, Ohtani getting banged up in that series is not a great look. They'll hand the ball in this one to Blake Snell. He's 3-1 on the year, a 1.80 ERA. He's been absolutely dealing out there. He faced the Dodgers his last time on the mound back on the 16th. 6 innings, 5 hits, no runs allowed, walked 2, struck out 3, and a 6-0 Dodgers win. So very good stuff, and just in general, Snell has been excellent down the stretch. So you'll love to have him on the mound if you're the Dodgers. Obviously, the bullpen hasn't been very good for the Dodgers, so that's a big concern coming into this game. Although they weren't so bad against the Padres, we will say that. Now, the offense for the Dodgers, I don't know, very all over the place. Seemed like they really didn't take that series against the Rockies seriously. They are only one game up on the Padres. This is a very important series. They're first in runs scored, fourth in batting average, and fourth in on-base percentage. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against these Padres, who just won 3 in a row and 3 out of 4 there against the Giants. They'll hand the ball here to Yu Darvish, who's been all over the place this season. This 39-year-old veteran is 2-3 on the year, a 5.97 ERA. His last start was against the Dodgers and didn't look great. 4 innings, 3 hits, 4 earned runs allowed. He gave a couple home runs in that game also, so a little bit worried about him. Obviously, he hasn't made that many starts this year, but I'm worried. He's old. He's trying to make a comeback here. We'll see how it goes. Now, the bullpen for the Padres is the best in the majors, so that's not a problem at all. The offense is hitting the ball really well, coming off 3 solid games, scoring 8, 8, and 5, but are they going to be able to turn it around here against a guy like Blake Snell? Seems like a big ask. So looking at the numbers, guys, the Dodgers are minus 125. The Padres are plus 105. We've got a total of 8 in this game. The Dodgers are 30-31 on the road, 34-26-1 to the under on the road. The Padres are 41-21 at home, 33-27-2 to the under at home. I'm going to be leaning towards the Dodgers here at minus 125. I think with Blake Snell on the mound is just too good of a deal. I think he's probably going to help them find the win in this one, and it seems like the Dodgers just have an upper hand in this matchup. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I'm more than happy to get back to you. Thank you for watching. Click the link in the description and check out stumpthespread.com. Check out those red hot premium picks that just went 2-0 there yesterday. Also, tons of information there on week 1 NFL and week 0 college football. So definitely get in on that by clicking the link down in the description. Also get on the free email newsletter over there. And guys, we'll see you right back here tomorrow, same time, same place for more sports betting action.